Hello, this is Harwin from SU Wolf. Today we'll be talking about why the old school sales techniques don't work. So a lot of times, it's not that they don't work entirely, but around 80s or 90s, most of the people right now, if you go to apply to a job in sales, your manager or supervisor might be at the age of 30s or 40s or 50s, and they'll be teaching you what they had learned in their sales training around 80s 90s. So that is what they don't it's not that they were wrong or they have bad intentions, but a lot has changed during that time, and people usually don't follow up and reread the studies or continuously keep improving themselves. So those kind of things carried on, and when they explain it to the people of this generation now, it kind of becomes like it's not good sales techniques basically. What they use is they have three or four clauses in the arsenal. They use general chin chat, and around that time when they started, it worked good. But things like you're asking for their name, and make sure you keep using that name again and again in the conversation, and those kind of things. They might be working at that time, but it has become now kind of it becomes very obvious to people. It comes up in the movies or sitcoms. People have been seeing that. So if you use those kind of stuff now, you need to seriously upgrade yourself, because that's not no longer going to work. Because once people know that it is kind of a sales technique, people have the guards up. And the other things that they use is they start with general chit chat. They start talking about this general thing. What is, yeah, you have okay, you have a picture of this on your wall. Okay, you play golf. I also like to play golf. So those kind of things, it becomes very obvious that you don't you're not getting to the point. So I think the frame of mind that you'll be getting is you should go direct. Once it is decided, you should let it known that your intentions, that you are here for the sale and you're talking about this product. So you don't have to hide your intentions here. You don't have to go to general chit chat here, try to build rapport. I've also recorded a postcard about rapport, so listen to that before you go on. After this podcast, you listen to that. So they try to build something like a rapport that is kind of a friendship first, and then but I think it's better if you just go to the point and handle it from there on directly. You make your intentions known, because if you dilly dally around here there, it gets to known, and people who are busy, they don't have much time there to go talk about their life. So it becomes obvious that you are trying to first beat around the bush, do you say. And the other thing is, what I learned is about objection handling techniques. They only have two or three stuff in their arsenal, or maybe for closing they use just learned one or two things for closing. That okay, what color do you want? You want it right now or on Tuesday? That is also good, but you need to have more than those techniques that your customer who knows, because they have already heard all of that by now. That might be good around 90s or maybe early 2000s. You're using that when people were not so much used to it, but the customer, consumer of today is a sharp person. They already know. They've seen the movies. They've seen what happens before, and they've become used to it. Even if they're not even talking about movies, once a technique gets used over and over again, it becomes old, and sometimes people get used to it. They have their guards up, so you constantly have to upgrade yourself and move away from those kind of image that they have in their mind when you use those kind of words. So, uh, I don't think the basic sales techniques are bad in the sense you should study them, and even if they don't work, it is important that you study them so that you know what your competitors are using and how not to become someone that becomes obvious in that sense. Because if you know that old techniques, then you'll be able to better apply the newer techniques because they always build on them. So I won't say to not learn them, but once you learn them, you have to realize that it may be possible that people already know about this, and sometimes people can get angry also if they find you trying to quote manipulate quote them that using this. So you have to be smart about it. A lot of times this can be the reason between you getting the sale or not getting the sale. So instead of using uh, the old techniques, it's time you step up the game and learn a few objection handling. We'll go into that in detail. And closes, there are a lot of closing techniques. So just don't just rely on two or three. I say you should know all of them, or maybe at least 30, 40 you should have in your arsenal when you're there. So whenever the time comes, you know what to use. You have all the tools in your arsenal to at your disposal, and it's not like fight in the sense, but you should have. If you're selling something that is beneficial to the customer, you should do everything in your power to make sure that they take the correct decision. And if it's a good product, otherwise you shouldn't be selling the product in the first place. But if it's a good product, you should do everything in your power to make sure that you have all the tools to help them make the sale and make the decision. So that's all for now. So avoid the old things. If you rely on them, it's good if your manager maybe likes those techniques, but in the call audit and all. But a lot of times those people have not been selling around 10, 12 years. They don't know what the real market is like. They have managerial experiences. They might be good at their jobs, but the market has changed a bit in those years, and you need to upgrade your techniques now. Okay. Thank you for listening to Mr. Wolf.